last presentation for the first session in room 2, and it is going to be presented by Matov Baker, also a E4Life student at Amrita University, and Matov Baker's presentation title is Perceptions and Attitudes Towards Women Employment and Leadership as onboard maritime officers in India. So a warm welcome, Matov, and I'm handing over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Meltem. Bernard, could you kindly unshare your screen?
Okay, no problem. It's okay. All right. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. So can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. It's not in the full screen mode, but we can hear you clearly and we can see your screen.
Okay, let me work on that. What of now? Is it okay?
It's not in the full presenter mode. It is the full screen. Yeah.
Right now it's okay, right?
Now it's perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm Matov Baker, and I'm going to present it's an article. It talks about the perception and attitude towards women employment and leadership as onboard maritime officers in India. And in this presentation, I'll mainly focus on what has changed and not since 2020. So as Dr. Meltem has said, I'm a PhD student at Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. And I must first start by thanking Amrita for this wonderful time it has given us to present. This presentation will mainly talk about 4 aspects. It will try to show the problem or challenges that are addressed by this research, the approach I use to address the challenges, and what's unique about this approach, the key findings, and how the findings relate to the COVID trends in India, and how the findings can be used to increase women's empowerment in the maritime sector of India in the post-COVID era. So the first thing today in the world, we have what's called Agenda 2030 of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And this agenda, one of the critical issues is the advancement of women's issues and involvement in the blue economy. And many organizations are trying to enforce what we call women empowerment in the blue economy, which has replaced the green economy or the ocean economy. And though these organizations are trying to develop frameworks and strategies to empower women, especially in the maritime sector of the blue economy, progress towards women's inclusion in the blue economy is abysmal, partly due to historical social constructs and stereotypes on women's empowerment and leadership. Why? Because most of the sectors in the blue economy, they are considered masculine. And when you specifically look at the maritime sector, gendered biases in employment are prevalent. Why? Some companies consider that women should only be employed, for example, in the tourism sector, negating them in other sectors of the blue economy, such as shipping and also maritime research, mining, to mention, despite the increasing experts who are women. So based on that problem gap, I designed an approach to address gender challenges in India's maritime sector. Now, the first thing I did was to focus on a pragmatic gendered framework that seeks to incorporate and enforce practice through laying out robust practices. So in India, what I focused on was to see the existing frameworks, and also based on what we call the Awesome Framework, which was developed by esteemed professors at Amrita, and the system thinking approach. Why? Because they show pathways through which women can be empowered in the blue economy, especially in the maritime sector. And in this systems thinking approach, I try to focus on the different gendered and social cultural economic subsystems in India's blue economy. And from there, I mapped out what are the existing aspects and which holistic gender framework can be used to inform gradual transformation. And the literature used in this article was systematic literature review using the Proxima framework. So what's unique about the approach and the framework? The framework I focused on is the awesome framework. Now, the main aspect of the awesome that's unique is it tries to be empowered in the maritime sector. And these domains are access domain, how women access, for example, the services in the maritime sector, the opportunities that they have, awareness, how are they aware about the opportunities there, and the cognitive domain, like how do women cognitively or mentally think about the empowerment principle, the existing frameworks to empower them. Furthermore, the awesome framework incorporates the system of vulnerability mapping, and through this vulnerability mapping, we can easily show where the abilities of women, and from that, robust decisions and interventions can be made that can help women, for example, design interventions that can alleviate external and internal shocks. So such vulnerabilities will be mapped using the system thinking models, and the main model I focused on was the 3-horizon model. Why? Because it projects and predicts innovations which are in place that can enhance inclusive transformation and involvement of women in the maritime sector. So from the literature I read, I realized that several gendered gaps are prevalent in India, which are hampering women's empowerment. And some of them are social, cultural, and political economic policies in India. Some of them impede women's employment even today, and it increased during the COVID time. For example, there is a prejudice in India that when women work for wages, it is an indicator of low family status, meaning that because of such prejudice, women are mainly encouraged to be in the maritime sector. It also sexist serious on gender that it means that women are not so much involved in leadership. Another key finding I found out was that the perceptions which limit women's involvement in the maritime sector, some of them are historic in nature. For example, India has a caste system, which the government is trying to illegalize, but still people are still having that mentality. Then also there is unequal access to valued resources and opportunities in the maritime sector, like the mobility of women and vertical occupation mobility, which makes some women don't engage the maritime sector. Because of that, those challenges, I tried also to show findings related to the COVID trends in India. How can they use increase women's empowerment? We have to recognize that in India, as a specialist country, most of empowerment aspects tuned to what we call the Sagama, which is a policy government involvement. And through one which is women farming, it's in growth information. Okay, about how the findings related to COVID, I said that the Sagamala in India is trying to show that women can be empowered through leveraging information technologies. In India, I encourage what you call affirmative actions to increase women's empowerment. Also, the policy of Anganwadi in India can be considered. Why? Because it considers women to be employed in areas which are proximate to their locations. This means that they can be easily interacting with their homes or families. In conclusion, I can say that spatial and temporal complexities in enforcing gender inclusion in India are prevalent. But because of the existing frameworks, it is eminent that women's empowerment is increasing gradually, and through research can increase on avenues where women can be empowered in India. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Baker, for this interesting topic and very nice presentation. Although we had slightly connectivity issues, it didn't disturb much the flow and the information you wanted to convey.